Today's educational module is TriNetX, Real-World Clinical Healthcare Data for Researchers. I'm Alexis O'Brien, a clinical research facilitator with the Clinical and Translational Science Institute, and I'll walk you through the introduction to this resource. In this 10-minute presentation, I will discuss a little background on the purpose of TriNetX and how you can use TriNetX. I'll also explain how you can gain access to TriNetX and the documentation the IRB requires allowing you to use TriNetX in your research. Background on TriNetX. TriNetX is a de-identified clinical patient database. Until June 2022, it contained local data from about 2 million UBMD and HealthNow patients. After that time, data from more than 1.5 million patients in the Kaleida Health system were imported to TriNetX. The database includes inpatient, outpatient, and claims data. How does TriNetX work? TriNetX uses a network of healthcare organizations' research repositories, cancer and genomics registries, and some electronic health record systems, so researchers can use it to determine aspects of study feasibility by identifying whether a sizable number of patients exists that meets their study inclusion and exclusion locally. Researchers at UB can perform a TriNetX query that includes only the UB network so they can access local recruitment feasibility. When a query yields a large enough pool of potential subjects, the study team can receive a list of patients, given they have IRB approval to use TriNetX for recruitment purposes. UB researchers may previously have requested IRB approval to use I2B2 for this type of study recruitment, but TriNetX has replaced I2B2 for these recruitment queries. TriNetX also supports the use of its integrated platform to search over 50 healthcare organizations on the Research Network, or the Linked Network, which includes third-party longitudinal data from electronic medical records, along with medical claims and patient medication data. The Linked Network is a closed claims network. A closed claims network should provide better insight into the patient's medical history for longitudinal use of the data. TriNetX also facilitates the contact between research sponsors and potential investigators. When a collaborating sponsor would like to commence a clinical trial, they approach TriNetX and request a query of the electronic health records of all participating academic medical institutions via their data warehouses. The sponsor then receives an aggregated, de-identified count of patients that meet their search criteria. Sites with a sufficient pool of patients that meet eligibility criteria are contacted to invite participation. When UB is identified as having a large enough patient population for the given trial, the CTSI research facilitators receive a collaboration request email. The research facilitators then forward the request to the correct department's point of contact so they can identify potential site leads. TriNetX also allows collaboration with peers at other member institutions. For instance, if a researcher wanted to recruit 300 patients with a specific diagnosis, but a local query does not yield a large enough pool of potential participants, they could open a query to the larger TriNetX network to find more patients and potential collaborators. Academic sites can exchange data with each other to promote multi-site investigation. This is part of the recent connectedness with other SUNY institutions on the TriNetX network. After querying, TriNetX has HIPAA-compliant ways to re-identify patients for involvement in research. Gaining access to TriNetX. An email can be sent to the Institute for Healthcare Informatics requesting access to TriNetX. Once the researcher has an account, they can run feasibility queries for planned studies. Using TriNetX in your research. There are no special IRB permissions required to run feasibility assessments in TriNetX. You only need an account in order to run queries. IRB permission is not required to use the Analytics suite in TriNetX. You only need an account in order to run queries and choose data for analysis. This can include analysis like cohort comparisons or trends over time. When including TriNetX as part of a study recruitment plan, IRB approval is needed. Partial HIPAA waiver form and other templates for such submissions are available through the clinical research facilitators and the CTSI clinical recruitment team. Once a researcher has IRB approval to use TriNetX for research, the research team can request contact information for patients matching the search criteria from IHI. The IHI team will verify the correct approvals and review the query against protocol criteria to ensure that they match, then provide the patient list to the researcher. The research team must then contact the patient's provider, and if the providers do not object, the research team can contact patients by mail and can follow up by phone. Resources are readily available to assist researchers who wish to recruit using TriNetX. You can access a physician permission letter template, a recruitment letter template, and policy documents in the CTSI Recruitment Resources Toolkit, and can receive guidance from the recruitment team by submitting a CTSI service request. Thank you for learning a bit about using TriNetX in your research. To register for an account, you can reach out to Jonathan Blaisure, the Chief Research Information Officer for UB and Kaleida Health. If you would like assistance integrating TriNetX into your recruitment plan, contact Ashley Regling and the recruitment team at the CTSI.